Hello guys, welcome to a new video. This time I'll show you my latest Stormwind run with a little bit of an edge. Because this time I'll try to do it with a very low gear, with only one trinket and still full clearing it while finding a lot of secrets, the most I can find, without ruining my run. So in order to do that I'll have to do some things to prepare it. One of them, of course, is equipping other gear. As you can see, I currently in my full AoE gear have 477 item level equipped with 74 corruption. In visions, usually I'll only run about 30 to 39, so I don't get any things from beyond, because they can really fuck your runs up. But in this run, I'll not have any corruption. Instead, you can see I only have one trinket equipped. I have a weapon from the raid, but I removed the corruption from it. And I also equipped in all the slots except for the Azerite gear, neck and cloak, the white gear from the vendor. I still got my 2 rings, and as I said, I got 1 trinket. I'll change one of the essences in a second, I think. This originally I commented this live, but since my recording got scuffed and the sound isn't working, I have to re-commentate this. But at least I can give you some insight after the run, I guess. So one thing I'll of course use in this run is the gas degulash. I use it in all of my vision runs and it just makes it so much easier since you get a passive heal that can help you on the hard packs. Of course I have to equip all the masks, and I realize I only have 18 minutes on my agility flask left, so I'm crafting a new one and luckily get 5 out of it, thanks to procs. Another thing I have in my inventory for the run are kebabs. They restore 100 sanity after eating for 10 seconds, so I'll use them from time to time to either get some sanity back or just wait for my cooldowns and not lose so much sanity during it. Also, I'm using Purification Protocol Major, just because it helps a lot with its damage, its low cooldown, and its ability to stun aberrations. Okay, so that's basically all the preparation I had to do. I'll just start eating my goulash in a second and then I'll start the run. I won't cut anything here, just to make sure that you can see that this is legit. I'm not cutting anything together or stuff like that. Because I know YouTube, I know the YouTube comment space, those are some accusations that you hear from time to time. And once again I ran to the portal instead of Ravian to start the vision. That's just one thing I do incorrectly all the time. Okay, you can see my talents here. I went Sabertooth and Blood talents instead of Predator and Moment of Clarity, just because I think the bosses will be the hardest part of this vision, and those talents help to shorten those boss fights. Okay, the first thing I'm doing here is checking for the vial on the right side, because the color of this vial is always the bad color that loses your sanity when you drink it. In this run it is purple, so at the bottom right next to my details you can see that when purple is bad, the black vial is the one that restores sanity, the blue vial is fire breath, the red one is the passive heal, and green is the damage resist. So now I'm starting on these Rift Walkers, the first hard or harder enemies of this run. And as you can see, they give me kind of a hard time. That's because they live long, they have these shields, and their abilities and auto attacks deal quite some damage. So I'm popping my survival instincts here and try to kill them off one by one. So just the damage intake is less of a problem. Because I figured my problem won't be that I can't kill the enemies or that I run out of sanity, but instead that I just simply die to some abilities. This will come into play especially later in the lost areas, because the combination of madnesses that I have in this run is really annoying. Okay, first order of business is killing Mulane here. He gives us a 7% versatility buff if we kill him. So since he's up, I'll definitely take advantage of that. Okay, we killed him here. And now I'm going to stealth through this area here. I want to fight the least possible amount of enemies, just to save some time. Okay, I spot a black vial there and decide to drink it. What I didn't realize is that it doesn't put me out of stealth drinking it. So instead of re-stealthing, I get out of stealth and now have to fight these enemies. I could have easily avoided this just by staying in stealth and running by them. Okay, kicking the Psychic Scream here so I don't get feared. And now I kill this enemy. So we're pretty good to go for our first district, which will of course be the Dwarven district. Once again, these enemies will be killed mostly one by one, just to make sure I don't die to any damage here or have to avoid too many abilities. Okay, now we're starting off with a Dwarven district. If you've seen some of my other runs, you know usually I just pull the entire district together, but this won't be possible this time around. I checked the door to the left there, because if it was open there would be a 10% damage buff, which would be really helpful, but unfortunately it isn't. Please excuse the sound from the side there, that was my Discord. I'll quickly mute it, just give me a sec. Okay. So now we have to pull these packs one by one, making sure to jump from time to time to counter the madness and homophobia. And yeah, these scorched feet we can't really avoid, we just have to deal with them. Okay, I want to click the bomb to the right here, after drinking the red liquid, which is the passive heal. One thing you have to keep in mind when drinking these vials is that even though you get positive effects from them, if you don't renew the buff, it only lasts 5 minutes. If you don't renew it by drinking another vial, you will face a negative effect, which is mostly CC. So you gotta be careful about that and keep that in mind. Okay, I'm looting this cache here because I wanna get more mementos for my sockets. And now I spot a blue vial here. Blue vial is once again Fire Breath. And now we got the buff up to 17 minutes. Okay, these packs aren't really that interesting. Even though they contain a lot of mobs, they don't really deal a lot of damage, so I can just AoE them down. Okay, you might wonder if I'll face the mailboxes in these runs, but I can say shortly, no, I won't do that. That's of course because they cost some time, but on the other hand, I just got the mount in a run earlier this week, so I don't have to open the mailboxes anymore. If you didn't know, these mailboxes have always spawn a random enemy. And if you are lucky, that's an enemy called Mail Muncher, who drops a mount with the same name. Okay, now we'll pull Harol. He will restore 200 sanity to us when we kill him, because of Elite Termination. And I pull him into these enemies because once again, there's not a lot of damage going on here. Just making sure to dodge all the abilities. Even got Gift of the Titans active, so I deal some damage at least. And this way I can just finish him off without a problem. So as you can see, we are nearly done with this area, but we are at full sanity and still haven't used a single orb. So that's how you want it to go. I'm checking for odd crystals here, because I really want to take as much mementos out of that run as possible. There was a black vial to the left that I simply ignored because I have full sanity, so I don't get any advantage of taking this one. And now I'm just searching for the last odd crystal. There are fixed spawn points for these, always more than there are actual crystals, so you have to check all the spawn locations to find the crystals. In this run I realized that the last odd crystal was next to the boss at the end of this area here, so I'm activating it, going to the odd crystal there, picking it up and then starting the boss fight. I'll use potions for most if not all of these boss fights here, just because they take some time and I really want to shorten the duration of these fights. Okay, just making sure to dodge the fire breath here and yeah, not send in fire. You can click these explosives to kick them away, so you can see I don't have to move at all here. Which allows me to ignore the Scorched Feet madness as much as I want, because it only procs on moving. So I can use it to dodge the fire breath of the boss actually, so I get a little bit of help out of it even. Okay, now we got the 2 odd crystals of this area, we have full sanity, full orbs, and now we can make our way to the old town. The old town is interesting, because it's not that hard mechanically, but there are some issues especially with the madness is active at the moment, and you will see how I will be struggling in that area quite a bit. So first of all we have this madness here, the split personality, and the problem with it is that it doesn't allow you to move. The next madness is Haunting Shadow Spell, which forces you to move to not get CC'd. So when they are both active at the same time, you are pretty much fucked. As you can see here, I can't really move out of it. I could have gone to the left side, but then, yeah, that would have been awkward. So I just had to eat the CC, which wasn't really better to be honest. I should have just moved out. Yeah, make sure to dodge the Roaring Blast here. As you can see, then this mob isn't really hot. There once again both madnesses were active at the same time, but I was able to run out this time. Okay, this pack is interesting as well. You have 2 informants in this pack, and they will cast a Touch of a Madness, I think the ability is named. You can see they cast it right there. When the cast goes through, you get stunned for 5 seconds, so you really don't want that to happen. So I saved my AoE stun to interrupt both of them, and now I'm trying to run out of most of the abilities here. Yeah, there was another Black Vial. I think I didn't see it in my run through, so I lost out on 100 free sanity there, which would have been helpful, to be honest. Okay, I'm switching forms there to get rid of the slow and to run out of the madness. I'm picking up another vial. I think it was a red one, so the heal buff got reapplied. And I'm stealthing back into here, just to check if there's an odd crystal on the balcony. There wasn't one, so I continued my run here. There was the touch ability again, that would have stunned me, but the mob died in time, so it didn't affect me. And I'm just killing the executioner, dispelling myself. At least I hope so. No, I don't, but that's fine as well. Okay, my original plan at this point was killing this pack, eating a kebab, and then engaging the boss enemy here. But as you can see, the cooldown on my Gift of the Titans just ran out, so when I'm killing this mob it procs and I can just engage it without facing the sanity drain from this enemy. Yeah, that was a little bit unlucky, both madnesses were active again and I got CC'd there. Okay, now we don't have gift and the blood eruption hits, so we are losing some sanity, but that's fine because we get 200 back from killing this enemy. We were low on sanity for a little bit there, so the figment spawned, which we now have to face. Just making sure to hack it into pieces quickly. Okay, there's the first odd crystal that we want to click in this area. Okay, and I missed it. I interrupted the cast, and that's why I didn't actually pick it up. I was wondering, because at the end of this run, a little spoiler ahead, I'll only have 8 crystals, and I was sure that I missed one here, because I will not go into the rest of the old town to check for the last odd crystal. But I didn't know where I missed the other one. But yeah, that's the catch. They have a cast time when you pick them up. If you move during that, you won't actually pick it up. Okay, now Valera and I open this gate. And instead of that, I'll just have to wait for the split personality to happen. So what I decided to do is eating my kebab now. I'm just hoping that the fear doesn't spawn underneath me, because that would waste my kebab. But I get it through before the zone spawns. Okay, now we got Shore, and on the Shore fight I'll definitely use my Bloodlust. It's a little bit wasteful because he disappears from time to time, but since there are a lot of ice spawning during the fight and those ice making it so much harder to deal with it, in combination with the madnesses being absolutely dog shit, I figured that using Bloodlust here would be great. Especially since our next Bloodlust is planned for Illyria herself, so we need to put it on cooldown somewhat early, so we don't miss it during the run. Okay, Shore himself just requires you to kite a lot, so you can reposition the Eyes of Chaos in a good way. As you can see here with the madnesses, it's just a fiesta. I have to eat one of the abilities here just so that I don't get CC'd. And now I'll try to finish Shore. Yeah, I spawned a Figment as well because we are kind of low on sanity. Now there's a Fear and Split Personality, and that's just a chain reaction of CC that brings us really low on sanity. We got 50 left, and by killing Shore we get 200 back. So we don't proc our cheat death here. There's no odd crystal in that corner, and so I decide that just going back to the Cathedral District is better than wasting some time searching for the last crystal here. Okay, our kebab is still on cooldown, so we make our way strictly to the Trade District without going anywhere else. Okay, in the Trade District you have to kill the bosses in a certain order, because they don't spawn if you haven't killed the one before. So you have to kill the Inquisitor on the left side first, and then you can go to the middle and kill the big faceless one. I don't know its name. But because I'm pretty sure that I won't be able to kill it without losing too much sanity, because I'm quite low and it has undodgeable sanity draining mechanics, I'm making sure to use the time I have with my little sanity left to clear as much of the trash here as possible, because then I don't waste any sanity that I get back from the orb that I will be using. I find another blue vial here, I'll just pick it up to prolong our fire breath buff. It's now back on 21 minutes. As you can see, there's a black vial, and I think to myself for a little bit, am I able to kill the boss with just my sanity that I have at the moment, plus this black vial? And it might be possible, but it's pretty risky. And we're no friend of risks when we're at 300 item level. So what I'll instead do is just take my time with these enemies, especially since there is a Figment spawning here. Just, kill these appendages here. And then picking it up. I have my Gift of the Titans active, so I decide to go to this side here, clear some more trash, and check for the guild bank. The guild bank has to be up, simply because the mob in the Dwarven district wasn't, and one of them is up at all times. As I said before, Dwarven District is a 10% damage buff, just in general, so it's pretty strong. The Guild Bank here gives you 10% crit chance. That's great as well, but I would prefer the 10% damage buff. Okay, there are no odd crystals in this area, so I'm going to Guild Bank here and just killing at it. We spawned another figment from one of the masks, just because we're so low on sanity, but that shouldn't be a problem to handle. So what I'm doing now is a little bit risky, because I have 80 sanity left and I want to use an orb before the boss, but there is this trash pack before. And I'm pretty sure I can't use my orb here without pulling any of the trash or the boss, so I'm engaging this trash pack with 65 sanity left. That's not a lot, but since I used my Purification protocol on this, it went pretty great. So I'm dropping my sanity restoring orb here and pulling the boss into it. That allows me to just ignore this agonizing torment cast, because that would usually drain sanity, but since I'm standing in this orb, I get sanity back without a problem. I dispelled myself there, that also gets rid of this debuff, and now I'm kicking this cast to also ignore the sanity drain here. I have nothing for the last cast, but since the mob is pretty low, I'll just finish it. We got an odd crystal in that corner there, so we're picking that one up. Which leads us to having both of the odd crystals of this area, so we can go kill the next boss and then finish this area. I'm just checking for some more enemies that I may have not killed here, because I don't want to waste any of the sanity I get back from killing this next enemy mob, elite mob, because once again we get 200 sanity back from killing elites, but we won't be losing that much sanity. So I will waste a little bit of a gain here, but that's better than, yeah, having no sanity at all. Yeah, usually I try to just push through this phase without running a second time from these Chains of Servitude, but since we are so low item level, we can't really afford that. Okay, enemy's dead. And now we just have to free all the 8 slaves here. The problem is that I ignored this one to the left here, just because I wasn't thinking about it. So I'll have to backtrack at some point here to get the last captive. I think it's really annoying that the minimap icons for the captives take some time to despawn. That's why I checked my back there, because I thought I hadn't clicked the cage before. Here I quickly realized that I forgot this one. So now we are done with this area and can go to the Mage District. Picking up another Fire Breath just to be sure that I don't run out of buff. And then I'm engaging this Tendril here. What I didn't realize is that it's still those madnesses from the last area were active, and by that I got dropped into the water here, which is pretty bad. I don't have my wire charge up, so I can get back up here without a problem. So I have to wait until it's up and then go back. As you can see, the mob dealt quite some damage to me in that time, but it was fine. We survived it. I got a Gift of a Titan's proc out of it, but instead of using it, I just wait in this area because it's a low sanity drain area and eat another kebab to get just some sanity back and start fresh into the next area. For his next appendage I'll use my Purification protocol just to clear this area quickly, because I want to move on to the next. Okay, as you can see here, we got the Void Elementals, and they will be the crux of this area. Because what they do is a cast called Void Buffet, there you can see it, and increases the shadow damage you take by 100%. Since I take a lot of time to kill these and I don't have a kick for every cast, they will get casts through, and that can be detrimental in combination with other casts of the other enemies here, and also yeah, just our low item level. As you can see, I'm at 400k HP, and some of these abilities will deal half of that as damage. If I, for example, pulled this mob and stood in its frontal with the Shadow Buffet debuff active, I would pretty much die, I think. Just Purification protocoling the shit out of this mob, because I don't want to deal with it any longer in combination with the madnesses that are active here. And now you will see what I meant with this Shadow Buffet cast, or Void Buffet cast. Because these mobs here have high damage casts and also fears, so I'm deciding to sitting this Mind Flay out, but instead of kicking the Void Buffet, I'm healing myself. And as you can see, I just take so much damage out of it. Now they fear me, and I still get hit by the Mind Flay from the other one. I have 2 stacks active of a Void Buffet debuff, and that just kills me. Luckily we hadn't procced our cheat death yet, so that got activated here, and we are back to full sanity. But now we have to be extra careful, because we have no failsafe anymore. So if something like that happens once again, I will be dead. Okay, there's a Black Vial, restoring 100 sanity. I definitely want to pick that one up. And also this cache for just some more mementos. We haven't found any odd crystals yet, so we have to keep searching. And with this fear spawning here, I'm forced to go into the corner here. Most of the time you have an option to somehow avoid this CC, but there are places in here, or just combinations of effects happening, where you just have to eat the CC and hope that you live. Okay, this boss is pretty straightforward. Don't stand in the rain of fire and kick the shadow bolts as often as you can. Got a Gift of Titans proc here, so I deal a little bit more damage, and by that I can finish this mob off pretty easily. Okay, here's another Void Elemental, so I'm making sure to focus it this time, so it doesn't get too many casts off. I'm kicking the Void Buffet, and now I'm just killing it. One thing to keep in mind is that you can outrange the Psychic Scream of this Keeper, so if you just move far enough away from him, you won't get feared. Here one of our potions ran out, and this negative stun effect happened. It's not too bad, we weren't in a dangerous situation, but I should have tracked it and then proc it at a safe location. Okay, we found one of the outer crystals here, and because there wasn't one in any of the other locations, one has to be here as well. And there is. And we just have to wait for our split personality to go by, so we are eating another kebab. Once again hoping that the fear doesn't spawn underneath us. Okay, this is the last void portal that we have to close. After that we can engage the last boss of this area and then go back to Illyria. Split personality on these stairs, or this rondel, is pretty annoying because you have to just wait for it to happen or to go by, because you can't avoid it here. But at least the fear that spawned right under us put us into the right direction. Okay, here I'm deciding I could either use an orb and play it safe, or just engage this mob. I'm feeling pretty positive about this one, so I'm just engaging it. And I'm making sure to kick the entropic missiles to minimize the sanity drain. I can completely ignore the tainted polymorph, because I'm a feral, or I'm in cat form, I can't be polymorphed. What I'm doing here is just damaging the enemy a little bit before breaking the Frozen Storm, just because I want to have my kick up for the entropic missiles here. I should have used it earlier, don't know why I waited so long. Once again, tainted polymorph, I can just ignore it, and now he will teleport to the other side. Without leaden foot, this part is really easy. I can just move here, wait for my kick, it is up, so I can just engage the mob, kick him, and use my Purification protocol if I want to kill him. But I guess I'll just heal myself and finish him off this way. Okay, now we're pretty high on sanity, but there's still a figment spawning because we were low before we killed him. Not much of a deal though. Now I'm faced with two options. One of them would have been to go back to the old town, just to make sure that I pick up the last odd crystal, because I have so much sanity and time left, still 2 orbs, but I didn't feel like it, so I just decided to do the odd crystals in this area, and because there wasn't one has to be at the cathedral, I'll pick the last one up here and then make my way to the astral guy where I can trade them in. See this little cache here, so I'm looting it as well, and then I'm going for these mobs here just because I have the extra time and they yield a little bit of metal. It's not really worth doing, but why not? There's another cache here, and now I can go back in and trade. I thought I had 9, but as you've seen earlier in the old town, I missed clicking one of the crystals there, so we are back at 8. Not too shabby either, and now we can go for Illyria. I think I could have done Illyria without any odd crystals. I'm saying without any restoration orbs, but because I have 2 left and I don't want to risk anything, I'm just dropping another one here during the RP, so I get the benefit from it during the boss fight. I'll use my Bloodlust here and my Purification protocol just to damage her as hard as possible in these early minutes of the fight, or early seconds of the fight, making sure to minimize the sanity loss I get from the Eye of Chaos, because its Dark Gaze is really annoying to avoid, but if you don't, you get hit really hard. During these void eruptions you have to hide behind the pillars, but I would recommend to go back to the enemy and just damage her a little bit more before you hide, just because it's free damage and she has so many abilities that she's using that you want any second of just free damage on her. Now we got the Chains of Servitude, so I have to run from her, making sure to still not look into the Eye of Chaos. Again, using the damage window here to damage her during the void eruption. I didn't look back there to avoid the eye, just because with the Druid models sometimes it happens that you are behind the pillar, but by looking into the wrong direction one of your body parts shows and you get a huge sanity loss, which instantly kills you here. Okay, trying to get some damage onto her, but the fire zones are draining too much sanity, so I'm playing it safe. Yeah, I'm lining her behind the pillar here, just so that she would, oh god, yeah, so that she would move with me and I can damage her without staying in the fire there. Now we're at the last 8%, I have 300 sanity left, I'm feeling pretty safe. So what I'm doing here is just pushing through a void eruption. But as you can see, it gets really close. I have 0.7 7 seconds left on the cast, otherwise I would have died. I should have just played it safe, and I would have if this was really important to me, but I figured why not just try to kill her there. So as you can see, I have my 5 masks active, I get 5 chests from my full clear, and because I've already done 2 vision runs this week, I only get a 460 item, which is another honed mind piece, of which I have like 5 at the moment. So not really happy about that, but what can you do? Once again showing you my gear, as I said, 1 trinket, 2 rings, white gear in every other slot, besides a weapon, Azerite, cloak and neck. I'll probably do this again because this was really fun and challenging. I'll go either lower Azerite item level or maybe equip a lower item level weapon, something like that. Just see how much I can push me down. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content, and if you did, please leave a subscribe, please leave a like, let me know in the comments what I should try next, and once again, thank you for watching. Bye bye.